Hi, everyone. It's Brenda back again with another episode of Three Uniques. I'm super excited to connect you with Michelle Fox today. Hi, Michelle. How are you doing?
I'm so well. Thank you. How are you?
I'm doing well. And this is amazing because we connected on another coach's program. And I was talking about my mastermind that I do with that I host for my clients, my women leaders and entrepreneurs. And I was talking about wanting to connect in with people that are working with women in like healthy spaces, bodies, nutrition, etc. And you popped into my life. So that's amazing.
Yes, I did. I said if she is looking for people, I think I know somebody who can help her community.
Yeah.
And that's
So,
me.
yeah, that's you. So, just so everyone knows, Michelle is a certified culinary nutritionist. She lives in Denver, Colorado with her family. She's a mom, she's a wife, she's a friend. I love how you put this down. You're a yogi and a community builder. So, I want to tap into the community builder in a few minutes, but you talk about wanting to build these healthy communities and working with professionals, helping them just like have more fun in the kitchen and just, bring more nutrition into their life.
I absolutely do. And thank you for pointing that out. The main reason I do put all those titles in my
Mhm.
bio is really as a way to tell other fellow women who are wearing multiple hats that yes, it's okay to be more than one thing. And
Yeah.
oh boy, am I more than one thing. So yes, thank you for highlighting those titles.
It's actually funny just thinking about it because often when I do that myself and I'm in a group of men or predominantly men, they'll be like, wow, like I never bring up the fact that I'm a dad. Or I'm like, I know.
Right. Like that's the whole point right
That's
there.
the whole point. Like we wear these multiple hats and we're wearing them like full time, even if we're like literally in a full-time job, we're still full-time mom or whatever that looks like. So I love that you have all of those things in there. And it just shows too, I think for the audience that you're connecting with and the audience that connects in with me is that, yeah, like when we are doing all these things, we can still have a healthier life. We can still bring nutrition into our life. So why is this part of like your purpose? What was your calling to do this type of work? I'm just kind of curious as far as like your background and falling into this, or not maybe falling into it. Maybe it was like totally intentional.
Oh my goodness, so intentional. Yes, I have three big whys that I like to talk about.
Mm.
One is my father, two are my children, and three, because I really do want to make impact and build communities. And so, just as a, 30,000 foot view of all three, my father, African American man, died at the age of 65 from heart stroke
Yeah.
um, and high blood pressure,
Mm.
completely preventable diseases that could have been prevented from less stress in his life and better diet. I couldn't help him then, but I can help other people now. It's my mission to help other people so that they do not have that, untimely demise. As
Right.
far as my children, I definitely want to see them knowing or seeing, I want them to see me making choices, creating a life that I love because it gives them permission to do the same. I don't want them to ever feel like they're stuck in a corporate job or a factory job or something that doesn't feed their creativity because all three of my children are so creative. And so
Oh, that's
I want
amazing.
to be that leader for them. Yeah, thank you. And then three, building a business. I have been an entrepreneur, I think, since the age of 5, I want to say, when I was
Wow.
like selling my Halloween candy to my cousins and to my siblings. Like I've just always wanted to see like how I can build and be creative and create community around, something, whether it was cheerleading or creating dance routines for my cousins at Thanksgiving dinner. I've always just been the person who wants to bring people together, but also to have that come back to me as well, whether it's in the form
Mhm.
of money or love. So yeah, it really feeds me to build community.
Amazing. And so when you're talking about bringing like fun back into the kitchen and bringing nutrition back into people's lives, what does that look like when people are working with you?
Thank you for that question. So, a lot of my work is online. I started my business officially full time in 2020. And that, of course, as we all know, the pandemic, where people really were hungry for that connection. And I thought, well, I've got a camera, I've got a laptop, I've got a kitchen. Like, why don't we just cook together and have
Mm.
fun? Because I think a lot of people know, eat your veggies, get the minerals and nutrition in. But I don't think a lot of people know how to make it tasty. And so my whole goal is to take that nutritional content and show you how to make it delicious. But also, I mean, I think 9 out of 10, who are we kidding? 10 out of 10 of my videos, you're going to see me dancing in the kitchen and
Oh,
sometimes singing because it lights me up. And I think when we are having fun cooking, that, has traditionally looked like a chore. But if you're making it fun, then I think you're more motivated to get that nutrition in your body.
who's been the biggest influence for you around nutrition and food? So you mentioned your dad and just some of the health problems that he went through, but just even that inspiration of like getting in the kitchen and showing other people to do this. So like, was there someone in your family, a teacher?
Yeah, thanks for asking. I would say two parts. My mom actually pointed out a couple of months ago. She's like, "Did you know that your grandmother used to teach us how to cook and she'd bring neighbors in and teach them how to cook?" And I'm like, "No, I had no idea." So clearly there must be something in the DNA there. But then two, to actually be the role model to show me how to do it is Megan Teltner, who's actually a fellow Canadian, neighbor
Okay.
of yours in
Okay.
Toronto. She founded the Academy of Culinary Nutrition. And I am just a huge fan for life because she took a lot of the principles that I had already been growing up with, as far as food as medicine and the foundation of nutrition. But then she also showed that, yes, you can make it delicious. And in most of her videos, you will probably find her dancing as well. So I just love having her as a role model.
That's awesome. I always am curious of like who people are like mentored by or who they've gravitated to, who's been those influencers in their life. So I love the fact that there's the family connection and then obviously, someone that's specific in your industry and your profession. So that's amazing. So you're here today too to share your three uniques with us.
Yes,
So
I'm so excited.
yeah, I'm excited too. And I know you've done the three uniques leadership quiz, and I know you came up as a successful synergist. So for everyone that's listening, there's 4 leadership archetypes that are on there. But I'm curious, like when you did the quiz and then also just, in preparation for today's podcast, what did you come up with as being like the 3 things that make you unique?
I so love that you asked that because I am selfishly hoping I get some like free coaching here on this podcast.
Okay, yeah, bring it. Let's go.
Are you ready for me?
I'm ready. Yeah.
Okay, because I have like
Well, got a little
4
thunder.
in the first section, I
Yeah.
have 2 in the second section, and then I have 1 in the third. And
Okay.
so when you're asking me my 3, I'm guessing I did something wrong. What did I
No,
do?
it's all good. So,
Okay.
so for everyone that's listening, like when we talk about our 3 uniques, there's I sort of talk about it like in a Venn diagram or little bubbles. Like the first bubble is all about identifying your skills, your strengths, your abilities, like your talents. And then the second bucket being your values, beliefs, your passions. And then the third bucket being your experiences, past, present, and soon to be future, like something that's going to, is going to happen in the next, say 6-12 months. And so that's going to give you another experience to put into that bubble. And then somewhere in the middle are kind of like words that are going to pop off the page, like your sweet spot of kind of, maybe there's something about a value or about a skill or about an experience that really then makes you unique, that combination. So, okay, let's go for it. Michelle, you tell me what they are. I'm going to put them into the groupings.
All right. So that first column, I put biz acumen,
Mm-hmm.
I put creativity,
Yeah.
listening, and self-development.
Okay.
And then in the second column, I
Yeah.
put loved and health.
Mm-hmm.
And then my third column, I put be more inclusive,
Mm-hmm.
which kind of surprised me. It felt like it came out of the blue, which, I don't necessarily believe in that because I really believe everything happens for a reason and we are divinely guided. However, as much as I am already inclusive and I am a cheerleader, I can tell you, I get very impatient with people who don't see things the way I see them. And my husband has been an amazing partner to point out that, Michelle, we all have different perspectives. Be more inclusive, be more patient. And so I would love to get better at that skill.
Okay. All right. Awesome. So when you think about those things like the biz acumen, the creativity, the listening, the self-development, you put it down as being like loved or like being loving, the health. And I also just added something because you just said it in passing, divinely guided, like you believe firmly in like being, so that's like a value too, that's like worth like putting down there. And then
Okay.
being more inclusive, like what sort of jumps off the page for you? Or even, what do people like count on you for?
Hmm. Um, the community piece. People
Okay.
count on me to be the one to organize, whether it's a birthday party or an anniversary celebration, or
Mhm.
what's the last thing? Actually, it was my birthday party that I organized earlier. However, in that, even though it was about me, on paper, everybody kept saying, this feels like a reunion. Why don't we do this more often? And so it felt like I was the one to bring all these different people together.
Right. Okay. And when you talk about community, does it bring you joy? Does it lift you up? Is it just something like you don't necessarily need to have like a guidebook or a rule book on how to do? You just do it intuitively.
Intuitively. Yeah.
Okay. So if that's like something, and again, like there's sort of no rocket science to this in the sense of, or a mathematical formula, like 2 + 2. Okay. Yes. Now I'm a community builder. It's kind of like, this is something that people count on you for, and just intuitively you just do it, and you do it all the time. And you've just even mentioned it like in your family, but it's also in your business. Like it just overlaps into all areas of life. Then I would probably say that that's a unique.
I love it. I'll take it.
So that's
Okay.
number one. Okay. And
Community.
then number two, what's like a second one that sort of jumps off the page of you? Like similar process that people count on you for, and it kind of overlaps these things like business acumen and health and inclusivity and divinely guided. And what else comes up for you?
I think it would be the listening.
Okay.
I feel like I'm a really good culinary nutritionist slash health coach because people feel seen when they
Hmm.
come to me with their issues.
Okay.
And so I do believe people depend on me to listen to them.
And I'm always fascinated with the skill of listening, or the value of listening, or just even someone who has the experience of listening. Is there something that you've done to like be a good listener? Like, did you like learn something? Again, did you like learn something in school? Or are there examples in your life that was like, oh yeah, Michelle is always a really good listener?
I think all the above. Yes, getting
Okay.
that outside validation from teachers. And then also just watching my parents, because my mother uh, is very verbal. My father was not so verbal. And yet he'd be able to tell you everything she just said and or everything we just said. And so I think really watching how my dad was, I'm like, I really like that. So I just wanted to be more like him.
Okay. Very
Yeah.
cool. Very cool. And then a third one that you tend to
Oh,
gravitate towards, like just really like overlaps in all areas of your life. It really comes off as being that strength of yours. People count on you for it.
so the health consciousness.
Hmm.
I just got off a call, actually a biz call, and people were saying, well, we're relying on you. Like when we're making choices, your voice is in our head. And so I get that a lot from extended family members,
Right.
from clients, but also friends and colleagues. And so that personally lights me up to talk about health and wellness. And so I'm truly honored that I can be that voice for others.
I love that. And so like when I think about those three things, or when you think about those three uniques, community, listening, health consciousness, this is where like when I work with my clients, it's like these three uniques really feed into their purpose. And when we think about a purpose, it's kind of like a calling or a legacy. Even after we're gone, people like, just even you mentioning your clients, like it's your voice in their head around health consciousness that comes up. So even if, you're not working with them, like, 2 years from now, or you're no longer, with your family, with your neighbors, like from that sense, not to sound morbid, but, you've passed on, is that your legacy is still there. People are going to remember you and what you brought forward to them, and even taught them, right? Like about community, about listening, and about being health conscious.
Mm,
And then
I
it's
love
like,
that.
and then how do those all like overlap into different areas of your life? So that's where we get into that intentionality around your vision, around your goals. So if I was to ask you, like even thinking about your vision for your life, like 10 years from now, what does it look like for you? Like, do you have a thought about like how I'm going to be using community listening and being health conscious more? Like, if I was to meet up with you 10 years from now, you're like, Brenda, this is all happening for me. What would it be? Like, can you paint that picture?
I just got full body goosebumps.
Good.
Yes, I would
Because
love to paint this picture.
it should be that way for sure.
Yeah, so my children will be out of the house,
Hmm.
which means I will be retired with my husband in California. That's been a dream of mine for many, many years.
Okay.
So we will be living in California where not only am I feeling healthier because we're
Mhm.
at what's it called? When you're at ocean level, beach level, sea level.
Sea level.
So yes.
Like beach, see, that's pretty good. Oh, yeah.
Yes, I live in the Mile High City here in Denver. And
Yes.
so whenever I come down to sea level, my acupuncturist actually told me it's like I'm getting a blood transfusion. And it
Oh,
makes so
wow.
much sense because I always have more energy and
Love
I
it.
can maybe eat a little outside of my nutrition complex and I don't feel it. And so all that to say with this forward thinking, yes. So I am at sea level, preferably California with my
Mhm.
husband. So not only am I feeling well, but I'm also so into the tech because the tech has come so far that I'm able to help my clients and future clients with their health as well through
Mhm.
technology. I do have more freedom of time because it's only me, my husband, and my cute doggy that I'll be taking care of.
Right.
Um, so that would be community with the biz, health with me, and sharing with the community. And then listening, I'll be listening to the ocean. I'll be listening to my
Mm,
husband, and then I'll be listening to friends and family as well.
amazing. That's awesome. Yeah,
Hmm.
so I think those are like sort of like the key components when we think about how to fold in, the three uniques. Obviously, then we get into goals and we start writing goals about it. So for yourself, like what's a goal that you have for yourself in the next year, like either in your business, with your clients and working with them? What's something that you're hoping to bring to light?
Thank you for asking. So I recently sold out my women's retreat in Costa Rica. That'll be in March. So I'm super excited about that, taking
Amazing.
8 beautiful women for a beautiful experience there. And so my goal actually would be to sell out a second retreat for March of 2024. So that's a big goal of mine because I want to make it a bit bigger and I don't want to give away too many surprises, but yes, that's going to be where I'm going to put a bit of energy, probably towards the second half of 2020 2023.
Amazing. That sounds awesome. And you've got I think a program coming up that people
I
can work with
do.
you on. Can you share a little bit more about that?
Yes. So Healthy Sexy May, it's a 6-week program where you get to work with me hands on in a group. And every circle has been so unique. So um, it's even just hard to explain the magic that happens. But I bring a lot of the nutritional resources, including meal planning, and I teach my students how to meal plan. But then we also have group coaching where everybody gets seen, everybody feels heard, and everybody gets to kind of hash out some of their issues together so that those changes that I ask people to make pretty early on in the program around their nutrition can get locked in and have a longer opportunity to last throughout the year.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
so that's just michellefox.com/retreat if you want more information.
Okay, perfect. We'll put that in the show notes for you. And then
Okay.
you mentioned when just I think with either with that program, sorry, what's the name of it again? It's so fun.
Yeah, Healthy Sexy May. And I think I may have just said retreat, but I should have said group coaching. So that
Group coaching.
that's
Okay.
michellefox.com/group coaching. You can
Oh, as
find the
far as the
information
email
there.
address. Okay, yeah, well, we'll correct that
Yes.
and we'll get it set up properly there. So Healthy Sexy May. I love that name.
Yes.
It sounds a lot like also putting in like good habits. So it's not just necessarily, yes, it's following menus, etc., but it's like doing it in a fun way that puts in good habits. And I'm all about like James Clear's book on atomic habits and just doing like one thing and really being purposeful and intentional. Is there something that you did in 2022 for yourself that's been like a really good habit that's kind of just formulated, now it's sticking and you're excited about doing more of it in 2023 that you can share with us?
Yes, one of my most fun tips and tools that I like to share because it works so well for me is putting my workout clothes out
Yeah,
the night before I go to
right.
bed so that when I wake up, I have zero excuses. It's like the clothes are right there. My mind sees the clothes when I wake up. I'm like, okay, let's do this. Because I notice that if I do get off of that, somehow it's so easy to keep the PJs on or
Yeah.
I'm here in a colder climate, so I'll put on warmer PJs and I can go a whole morning just fine.
Yeah.
But if I put my workout clothes out the night before, that's super helpful for my fitness.
Okay. That's definitely a good habit for that other people can share in. Um,
Yes.
okay. So I have a couple speed round questions for you just for fun.
Ooh, fun. I love this. Yes.
Um, so I know you live in the mountains. So is it hiking or skiing?
Oh, definitely hiking.
Okay.
Mhm.
And you asked me this question before, salty, sweet, or savory?
Nobody's given me that question back. Oh, Brenda, I love it. I would say salty. I tend to
Okay.
crave salty.
All right. Awesome. Book or podcast?
Definitely podcasts because I
Yeah.
can listen to the podcast on my hikes.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. Absolutely. Or prepping your vegetables or whatever that looks like. Um,
Exactly.
and when it comes to toilet paper, over, under?
Oh my gosh, definitely over.
Totally. Always over all the way. It's funny though, when I have guys on or men on, it's under. And they're just like, I don't know, whatever works. And I'm like, no, no, it's always over.
That you had me nervous there, but now I know we can be friends.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. And my last question for you, and this is always the fun one. If I was to give you a billboard and it could be anywhere in the world and you could put anything on it, what would you put on it and where would it be?
Hmm. Hmm. I would say the billboard would be across from my daughter's high school, and it would say, "Believe in yourself." And
Mm,
every single high school student would have to stop and read that
yeah,
every single morning.
very
I would love
cool.
that.
And your daughter would be like, that's my mom.
No, she would be, yeah, covering her head with her
Oh, that
hoodie
would
and
go
be
the other
like,
way. She'd be like, oh my God,
don't
that's my
don't know that
mom.
woman. Exactly.
Well, that's okay.
Definitely not.
Everyone else will appreciate it. And I'd appreciate it too. I'd be like, I have to go to Denver to go check out this billboard.
I would love that.
Michelle, it's been fabulous having you on today. And thank you so much for coming on to share your three uniques and telling us more what you do and how you're creating more healthier communities. It's amazing.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure to share time with you.
And for everyone that's listening today, remember to get out there and share your three uniques, just like Michelle. And I love the fact that we actually work through it so that everyone on the call listening can hear what that looks like. And I always say at the end of my podcast, there's 8 billion people on this planet. Get out there and share your three uniques. Somebody needs what you've got. Thanks, everyone.